Hello once again everyone, and welcome back to the Stanley Parable. Now I got back to
all of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Place that I meant
Stanley
thought I would
decided
have
to go
got
the meeting
to,
room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
but apparently the papers did not appear on the floor when I finished the game.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I know.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
But I did get an achievement while I was playing around, and it said the do not jump achievement. It's all exactly the same, innit?
Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Kill surprise.
No secrets behind that door, but that way. I'm doing pretty good right now. Most of the day I've been trying to find a job to do after my graduation. It's a lot harder than it first seemed. And applying for stuff is tiring and annoying and interesting. It takes a lot of effort.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
But he was doing all this before.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
So I don't know
What
whether
horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
this will get me something new, perhaps.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place,
Or at least
freedom meant nothing.
get us the
This
thing with everything that we had before.
It was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring
Or
job?
don't know,
That his
to
emotions
be
had
honest.
been manipulated to accept it blindly?
But yeah, and for most of the day I've been catching up on
No. He
podcasts.
refused to.
So I did all the four
He couldn't
Rooster Teeth
accept it. His
podcasts
own
that
life
I've
in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it?
missed, so I think, over the
Had
last
he
couple of
truly
weeks.
spent his
And I'm pretty
entire
good.
life utterly blind
And
to the world?
they certainly entertained me.
But here was the proof, the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content, walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machine...
I just don't know if this will get me back to the point where we had the papers in the floor, because
blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty.
it's like you do a certain set of things and then you can't get back to that certain set of things. But yeah, I'll keep exploring this game. Maybe if I find something new, I'll record some more. Maybe
Unshackled himself
after this video.
Freedom was mere moments away. And yet,
You know,
even as the
I
events
feel like
tore
we've
slowly
probably
away,
missed some stuff because
Stanley
I
reflected
set
on
myself
how
to a
many puzzles still lay
a
unsolved.
limit to the time I
His
record.
co-workers gone. How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold?
Because, you
But
know,
as
when we
sunlight
turned it
streamed
on,
into the chamber,
the
he
thing
realized
exploded. We
none
had
of
that
this
door
mattered
open,
to
which I
him,
didn't get to
for
go
it was
through.
not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking,
So,
but happiness.
perhaps
His goal had not been to understand,
sure,
but to let go.
something.
No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives,
This
it will
only
be his.
take a couple of minutes to get actually to this point.
To know.
I thought there was gonna be more to this game, to be honest. Like, I was like incredibly impressed with just the amount that we can just go do off the path sort of thing. But then again, that's all part of the game apparently.
Of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Apparently no papers.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room to check on his co-workers. He never functioned well by himself, and constantly needed support and guidance from others, so the thought of total solitude was terrifying to him. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss. Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Here's the door, just go.
That might be how we do the speed runs actually. Possibly. Just keep doing it and things go faster and we can do the speed run and complete the game in like 4 minutes maybe. Maybe that's how you get that achievement, which is to complete the game in under I think it's 4 minutes 40, something like that. I don't know. But yeah.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Can we go back actually? No, cannot go back. So we can only go on. But yeah. So you might think, oh, he's run out of things to talk about.
Nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
What? I actually haven't, because I wanted to talk about a couple of movies I've
This mind
watched
control facility, it was too horrible to believe it couldn't
over
be true.
Christmas.
Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never.
Press this mute button on narrator, because we've
Was it even possible?
heard this
Had
word
he truly
before.
spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions.
Maybe it was
or
pressing the
sad
1, 2, 3,
or
4, 5
content,
that we did last
walking,
time.
eating, working.
Because we
all
did
of
that
it
one time,
monitored
didn't
and
we?
commanded
That
from
was-
this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
It's possible that it's today. But yeah, like I said, what's the Hobbit Desolation of Smog over Christmas, which I'm not going to spoil, just in case you think I was going to spoil. But I did really enjoy it, and thought it was an incredibly good movie. It included stuff from the Unfinished Tales, apparently. Well, no, not apparently, it did, which is the Gandalf stuff, where he goes off and to deal with the
And when at
necromancer.
last he found
So I think that was incredibly interesting to see that sort of stuff, because obviously I've not read that. I've read The Hobbit and all that sort of stuff, so I was like, oh yeah, I know this bit, I know this bit, I know this, and this is where this is where they've deviated and not done as much as I would want them to.
of uncertainty.
But you know, it was generally just good and fun. It's good to see Legolas again as well. Obviously Legolas in this movie, and he's
He had won.
back to
He had
being a
defeated
badass.
the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen.
Yeah.
And Stanley was happy.
Well, yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to the third one. And then I'll rewatch the Lord of the Rings and then the Hobbit extended version. Still find the Lord of the Rings better. The Hobbit extended one was pretty good. They added a few more added scenes and songs and stuff. And nope.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Here's the door, just go.
Yeah, so yeah. And then obviously I've watched Man of Steel over Christmas holidays, because I got that for Christmas. Again, that was an absolutely awesome movie. I won't again spoil it because it's a fairly recent movie, so
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
shan't spoil it for you guys, but it was really good. It's interesting to see another spin on the origin stories of Superman and
television screens.
the villain in it.
Horrible secret did this place
Because
hold, Stanley thought.
I'm just a
Did he have the strength to find out?
Luther being the villains in Superman films, and Zod being the supervillain in this one.
Now the
It's
monsters
incredibly
jumped
interesting
their
because
true nature.
I've never known about him, sort of
Each
thing.
bore the number of an employee in the building. Stanley's co-workers. The lives of
was an
so
incredible
many individuals
supervillain.
reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
And the guy who plays Superman is like, he's so Superman, like he looks
This
like
mind control
Superman, so
facility,
sort of thing.
it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
And the visual effects is just
No, he refused
over
to
the top,
believe it.
but
He
just
couldn't
amazing.
accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power. Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you?
I
After
did.
they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go. Turn the controls off and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are said to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated. All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
So the door did open, but it immediately closes when you get close to it. Interesting. And no matter what button you press, it always fails. Yeah, I also watched
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Django. Of the Christmas holidays.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Always locking behind me. Just
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Here's the door, just go.
so yeah. Still not got back to the papers things, which is interesting. I mean, what set of events take you back to the thing? Is it doing all the dream stuff, perhaps?
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television
It might be
screens.
doing that.
What horrible secret did this place
It would
hold?
be incredibly interesting if it was
Did he have
that,
the
and I might have
strength
to.
find out?
I will go at it at a later date and see. Like, if it doesn't pop up with me doing that.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the
Wait, I
number
might
of an employee in the building.
have stop
Stanley's
recording and
co-workers.
go to the dream
lives
stuff
of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen.
again,
And Stanley,
so we can get back to that point,
eternally monitored in
or
this
at least
case,
have a look if we get back to that point.
nothing.
But yeah, like I said, Django, it was a really good point. The film, really enjoyed it.
This mind control facility.
Won't
it was
spoil
too
it 'cause it's
horrible
fairly
to believe
recent.
It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's
But it's well
control
worth a
all
watch.
this time?
It's a bit violent,
Was this
but
the only
you know,
reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to
That's
accept
awesome.
it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this
And then there was Kick-Ass 2, which I watched, which was very awesome and incredibly interesting and fairly funny. It's not quite as funny as the first film, but it's still, it was a bit more serious than the first game, I think. It had
He had defeated the machine.
slightly more serious nature to it.
From someone else's
It's a good sequel, to be
freedom
honest.
was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened,
And I enjoyed
Stanley
watching
reflected
it.
on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking.
I've seen this all before, so I'm getting a bit bored of
Perhaps his goal had not
repeating
been to
this, just to
understand,
trying to get back
but
to the
let go.
point of
No longer would
where we
anyone
was.
tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his,
You know,
and that was all he needed to know.
I found this
It was
game really
perhaps
good, but it's
the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped
short,
through the
I
open
think.
door.
It needs more. I thought there was going to be more to
Stanley felt the
it
cold
than
breeze
what
upon
it
his
was,
skin,
to be
the
honest.
feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new
So it's
path
incredibly
before him.
interesting,
This was
and
exactly
how
the
it breaks the
way,
fourth wall.
right now,
But I thought there'd be
the
more
things were
puzzle
meant to
elements to
happen.
it.
And
Or
Stanley
maybe the puzzle elements
was
is trying to
happy.
find all the end solutions, or the alternative endings, 'cause they've clearly written quite a few for this. The end is never the end. That's quite good. Or the end is never. Looks like
How long
it
was
might
I
be.
sitting there? Stanley wondered to himself. Minutes? Days? Centuries? Did something crucial happen while my senses were turned? He made a note to be more careful with time from now on. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow. Yes, this room. But eager to get back to
Is it-
business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Shit, I'm going to try and do other dream stuff and then come back to this. So yeah, if I don't come back to this, I'll say peace out, Girl Scouts now. But if I do, you'll see another clip. Yeah.
I was in the middle
I've
of something. Do you have
figured
zero
that- can you-
consideration for
wait,
others?
go.
Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful.
So
Let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door. Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
So, you know, trying to do ways. Like, I also jumped off
What
the
do we
ledge
want?
and it
What
killed
are we
me.
looking for? Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
It's incredibly interesting.
No, wait. Where are you going?
I'm exploring,
Oh, no.
bitch.
Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this. Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me. No! Oh, thank God. No, no, what are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this? Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for me? Yes, perhaps you can. Perhaps you finally see what I'm talking about. I know you'll see that we can't be happy if we leave this place. You can see that, can't you? No.
I'm just gonna keep messing with him because it's actually fun. I'm just quite joking.
Is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly? Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after
360!
Well, is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back. I can't wait to tell this story to my co-workers, Stanley thought. How amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we all just laugh and laugh at the time I thought everyone had gone missing.
Let's see what happens if we went through the blue door. It's a new way, new possibilities.
When Stanley came to a set of two open, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is...
Moreover, if we landed one of the vans, we'll live and be able to go down through there, possibly.
There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door. Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked... All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire
What
story
would
I
they
had
would
written
do
out
it?
specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it. Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. Aha! You see, I knew I was onto something. Where do these flashes of inspiration come from? How did I know the game needed a third door? Well, it's instinct mostly, a calling in your gut. I really couldn't say where the idea came from, except that I felt it in my soul. You can't teach that, Stanley. Don't even try. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look. Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please. Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up.
So interesting.
In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game. All about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
See what happens when the baby goes into the fire.
You heartless bastard. Because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here? Yes. This seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot. Well, Stanley, is this any better? At last, the one thing you've always desired. A game I had absolutely nothing to do with. But is it enough? Tell me that, Stanley. Will it ever be enough? Well, I'll say this. I'm done making things for you. From now on, I'll only create to fulfill a greater artistic purpose. Watch this, Stanley. I'm going to build a house. This will go here. No, here. And then...
This is so brilliant.
See, what does it need? Yes, of course. And just to finish it all off, yes, it's complete.
Don't know how they got Minecraft into this game, but it's true.
Gaze upon my work of art and feel ashamed at your own inadequacy.
I mean, I could build a better house than that.
From the outside, you've only gotten half the experience. Please
To be honest.
step inside and make yourself comfortable. Isn't it grand? Isn't it perfect? It could only be better if... Wait, that's it. We must rebuild it out of diamond. Diamond everything. Yes, yes, yes. Come along, Stanley. We have to go mining.
And they've got the sounds and stuff correct as well.
Oh my, it looks like it's going to get a bit dark. Have you brought a light?
No, I have no torches. It's like, it's all the textures and mushrooms and stuff of default Minecraft.
No, this is far more open-ended than I had in mind. I'm looking for something more narrow and linear. Something that makes you feel utterly irrelevant. This won't do at all. 1 out of 5. Even the diamonds couldn't save this one. Okay, new game.
No! I like the openness of Minecraft! I'm just gonna keep recording, because this is just brilliant and genius. And I'm enjoying it again. So, you know. Like...
Yes! I don't even know what this game is, but I love it.
Freaking Potter!
Glass box with no way out, listening to me talk. Oh, it's inspired. I couldn't have done it any better myself. What is this game even supposed to be? I can't figure it out. Okay, now I'm curious. Let's go find out what the hell this is.
I don't know how they did this. It's just genius.
Ooh, it's a puzzle. Critical thinking, Stanley. Your forte.
It's actually the same as, it's actually the same as Paul.
Genius. No, actually, you know what? I think that's plenty. I really don't care much to see you stumble through any...
Now what's this game? Just still puzzle and they just muddied puzzle perhaps to have you unlock these new areas. Looks like it's going back towards the game. Let's just play it.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice. And if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
I just... Gee, this is just the thing with this game. It's so utterly genius. This restarted me.
All of his co-workers were gone.
I think he
What did it
has.
mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I'm going to go explore some more, perhaps, next time. I might record it, I might not. Depends on if I find anything new and can get back to the things I've seen already and try new routes. But man, just incredible that they included Portal and Minecraft in this. Props to them. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Peace out, Girl Scout.